What is trauma? A really good question. Well, trauma is actually a very difficult thing to answer, but I'll try to make it as simple as possible. Basically, there are two kinds of trauma. One trauma is, for example, you get in a car accident. That's one kind of trauma. If you fall off your bike, that's a trauma. So that kind of trauma would be a one-off incident that only happens perhaps once in your life. The other kind of trauma, which is very different, is developmental trauma. Something like repeatedly being raped, domestic violence, where you live in a home where there's constant yelling and criticizing and shaming. That's another kind of trauma that most people aren't even aware that they get affected by. That kind of trauma actually, I think, is more pernicious, means it's almost in everybody's family. It's in your DNA oftentimes. And the worst thing about that kind of trauma is that we carry that with us all the time. And when we have relationships, particularly in relationships, whether it's loving, whether it's non-loving, even at work, those developmental traumas affect the way we are with other people. So for example, let's say you come from a family where you're not allowed to be free. You have to be a perfectionist. If you try not to be a perfectionist, your mother may yell at you and say, "What's wrong with you? You know, you need to try harder." And then you get in the habit that nothing is good enough and you're not good enough. So instead of being able to relax, you don't. So let's say in a work environment, you have a boss who's very similar to the way your parents treat you. And they come and they say, "John or Fred or Malik, can you get this done?" Now, as soon as you hear that tone, it reminds you of your parents. And instead of being okay with "can you get that done," what it does, it brings a lot of anxiety. You start to panic because you can't get something done on time. Because you know in your family of origin, if you don't get something done on time, your mother will shame you. "What is wrong with you? You know, you don't listen to me. You're an idiot. You're a mess up. Oh, you can never get anything done. You're a loser." Now, if we hear that for most of our life, when we go into our work situation, guess what? That is trauma. And those voices, those thoughts, those smells, those feelings come right back into our everyday life, and we respond to the boss in exactly the same way. Now, we may shut down, we may get sick, we may drink, we may become abusive ourselves, but one thing is for sure, if we don't deal with that kind of trauma, it will definitely impact the way we are with other people and with our loved ones, and also with ourselves. We will start to believe that we are terrible, loathsome people that can't get anything done.